Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Model Building Workshop here at the Smith Hill Library in Providence, Rhode Island. And I'm Mr. Allen, and we're going to continue working on the M3 Stuart light tank. We worked on some of the suspension last time, and today I'm going to work on the turret assembly. So there's not a whole lot to this assembly. I'll try to show you the instruction sheet here. As you can see, there's not too much going on here, but I'll try to walk you through this step. So you can see the gun, machine gun on top, which I may leave off for now for painting. It's kind of nice to paint that off the vehicle and then put it on afterwards. And I may wait on these hatches because I'm not sure if the crewman I may want to put in this tank is going to fit or not. There is one that comes with the kit, which is pretty good if you want to do it as an American tank. I'm still not sure how I want to build this tank. I am still thinking about doing this as a captured machine, either Japanese, maybe Hungarian. It's still brewing around in my head, but I'm going to see as this progresses, you know, where my mood takes me. So let's take a look at the turret assembly. So it's not too bad now we have these, these two sides here. There's a little bit of cleanup to these parts, which I just did before I put the camera on. I don't want to bore you with all my sanding and filing. So there's not much to clean up, although, this is an old mold. It's been sitting around for a while, so there's a little bit. I'm going to test fit and see how these pins go. And it's a pretty good fit, which is not unusual for a Tamiya kit. So, and I'm going to clean up a little bit on this top hull piece here. And what's awkward is when you get a circular piece that is, on a tree or sprue, and they put the attachment points, on the sprue on a round part. So, kind of hard to clean those up because I don't have a particularly good file with me right now for circular spaces. They do make them, of course, but I'm using pretty basic equipment here. So it's going to go like so. Get the idea. And this is the other part of the turret cupola, which is kind of small and narrow on this particular variant of the M3. That's something that progresses during the development of this tank, is how they have the commander's hatch set up. This particular one has a very narrow teardrop style, but they tended to turn into different styles. There's some, I think there's an Academy Models kit, maybe the new Tamiya kit as well, that has basically no turret cupola. It's just a flat top with the hatches open up. There's another one I think that Academy Models put out a while back that I believe has a hexagonal cupola on top. So like I said, there were many different versions as they built and developed this tank on the production lines. Alright, so let's start getting this together. Just gonna check my clock here. Little bit of glue. Not a whole lot to put together on this part. It is kind of interesting that in this particular tank kit that we're going to put the turret together first and then add the gun on afterwards. It's kind of a different type of design than I'm used to. Not uncommon, but a little different. Alright, let's put this top plate on. You can see there are some weld seams that are replicated on this piece. Not bad detail considering the age of this kit, which is probably back in the 70s. But the detail's pretty decent for this model, which is probably why it's still around all these years later. And as I mentioned, it's a fun kit and one that's not bad for young model builders. I remember doing this with my nephew many years ago when he was young. The big challenge with him and his patience level was the wheel assembly, but that's usually the case with any tank. Although these aren't the worst wheels. If you try a tank like a Matilda, which has all those little tiny wheels under the armor plate, or maybe a Panzer IV, which has many different sets, that's a little more aggravating for a young model builder. All right. So within a matter of minutes, as you can see here, we're starting to get a turret together. Okay. Let's see if I can get this other part of the commander's cupola on there. Yeah, it's a little awkward. Let's see if this piece really fits as good as. I guess so. There's a bit of a gap there, but I don't know as much I can do about that gap. I think that's just how the plate sits. Yeah, all right. This kit is showing some of its age. All right, put a little bit of glue in here. Cement, technically. Little ridge in there. I don't know if you can see that. This is going to drop in into the ridge and up against the side. It's not the tightest seam that I would like. It's a little crude. It's not bad, but that could probably use some putty to really clean that up and make that look a little nicer, which is probably what I'll have to do. It's a little bit, it's not as great as I would like. But then I'm fussy. So. Yeah, I may need a little bit of putty later to fill that seam in just right. Okay, so we're starting to get there. I don't know if you can really see, that'll zoom in, but the seam could be better. Not horrible. All right, let me see. There is a rear hatch I want to try to fit on this. 23. Looks like it's got a vision block in it. Okay. Oops. Yeah, there it is. All right. Rear hatch. You can see that. And let me take a look at a few different things here. Hold on a second. I gotta go grab something over here. I have the tweezers. Excuse me. Dusty down here. All right. Let me take a look at some of these other things. That is... Oh, it's right in front of me. It's funny because when you're looking at the instructions, they're showing you a piece from the back and not looking at it from the front. It looks completely different. That always cracks me up. All right. I'm running out of time here for this program. Oops. So I'm not going to waste too much more time on this. Unfortunately, got a busy day lined up, and we're trying to fit in a lot of different things. So the tricky part with this, there are these protrusions on the barrel. There's a big one on the bottom and a small one on top. So it looks like the big one goes down below. So this is going to be sandwiched in there. It's a tight fit, but it will allow it. It does allow it to move. Oops. Come on. I don't know if it's going to focus on that or not. It always wants to focus on my face, I think. Sometimes smart technology isn't quite what you want. All right. I am running low on time, unfortunately, for this episode, so let me try to show you the last couple parts to this so you get the idea. There are a few other hatches and things that are going to go on this, but let me see if I can get the bulk of this done. Some of these pieces are a little finicky to get off. The sprue here. I usually like clippers, but some of these are kind of tightly on this tree and have required me to use an X-Acto blade, which for those of us that are adults, that's fine. Kids and X-Actos are not my favorite combination. That's why I don't do that here at the library. No. Okay, so let's see how this gun shield goes on here. Curiously, by the looks of things. That is where these let's come in. You gotta be careful because you don't want to get glue on the moving part. I'll explain that in a second. Okay, so that goes onto those protrusions on the gun barrel. So that is your base plate there. And that is going to get glued on to the front. Wait a minute. Helps if I pay attention because I got this upside down. You're learning from the best here today, huh? But it's good that we caught that. I'm including you in this in the we. That's why I like to test fit, do everything kind of quickly here. All right. Nothing to panic about, nothing to panic about. We just turn it around. Still works. And that's going to go on like so. Which I'll quickly do. Part of the problem is you really shouldn't be doing this when you're in a hurry. Unfortunately, I kind of am because I'm working, and that's how we do things here. We multitask, right? I think we all understand that. Luckily, that goes in pretty well. There's the armor plate. Front of the turret. Straighten that out. Not going to play with it too much. It's supposed to move. I'm sure it will. Let that sit for now. So there's your basic turret. That's where it is right now. All right, I think we're going to stop there for today, and we'll pick this up next time. Have a good one.